Being a single parent is difficult, but when we try to get the support of other people, because most of the time, if we suffer in silence, we think that I am the only one. Especially as women, we learn that not to bother anyone, not to be vulnerable. Especially depending on the culture that we grew up. My culture was women cannot be weak. If you be vulnerable, that means you're weak. If you're sick, don't tell your husband you're sick. Just pretend that you are good. So all of that, especially being a single parent, you want to make sure that ask for help, reach out. It's okay to be vulnerable, because then when you open up, the people that love you and
Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories, a podcast designed to inspire single parents. Here you'll find resources from self-care to finances to parenting and everything in between. Discover what it takes to thrive. Let the stories inspire you to what is possible. Hello and welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. Today we have a special guest, Soodabeh Mokry. She is a registered nurse and also Amazon #1 best-selling author of Emerging You and the author of the immigration memoir, Angel Nightingale, motivational speaker, certified hypnotherapist, Reiki master, and holistic wellness coach. Soodabeh inspires her patients, clients, audience, and readers to a new level of understanding of the resilience of the human spirit and inspires them to action. Soodabeh is the epitome of an American dream. She knows exactly what it feels like to live a life that is shattered, filled with fear, and more hopeless by the day. Escaping her war-torn homeland at the age of 30, Soodabeh discovered an inner strength she had no idea she was capable of. And Soodabeh is also a single parent. So welcome, Soodabeh. It is a pleasure to have you.
hello, Irina. How are you today? I'm so happy to be meeting you and having this wonderful conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So please share with us the story. How did you become a single parent?
Yes, it's a long story, but I'm gonna make it short. It was almost 34 years ago when I moved to America. At the beginning of moving here, I didn't know that my life would change forever. I was married for 10 years. We had two children. My son was, by the time I came to America, he was almost 7 years old, and my daughter was 2.5 years old. My husband had to escape from Iran 3 years prior to me coming to join him in America. And it was a lot of challenging and a lot of struggles and fears to deal with before I came and be able to join him here. I thought that, we are going to have a better life the way that he promised, the day that he decided to escape because his life was in danger in Iran. And when I got here, I realized that he already had a different life and he didn't want to live with us anymore. So that was the beginning of a new life for me. Overcoming a lot of obstacles prior to that, growing up with a mindset, a mentality that I didn't feel I was good enough. I didn't feel I was smart enough. I didn't feel I was beautiful enough. Looking at my family and everybody was tall and beautiful. That was my perception. But also the way that everybody, my family would say that I was short. I was shorter than everybody else. And I took that as a sign that I wasn't enough. My mother was a teacher and she was very strict. She would constantly say that, do something, go, jump, play basketball. She constantly reminded me how much of less than enough I was just because I was short. So that mentality took me to a place that actually, after losing my father when I was 13 years old, because my father was my teacher, my hero, the only one that will pay attention to me and listen to me. And after he passed away, after having a sudden heart attack, I experienced a long journey with depression after that. And for those people that don't know the history of Iran, the revolution took place in 79. Before revolution, it was like America. It was a westernized country. And after revolution, the government wanted or promised that they want to create a better life for everyone. But when they took over, they started taking the rights from people. And it was in 1 year after they took over, they decided that the first thing that they could do, and to make sure that people followed their ideology, their religious ideology, that it was to close all the colleges and universities, because they wanted to expel all the teachers, the students, professors that they did not follow their ideology. And it was in that attempt. I was a nursing student when I was just sitting and talking with my friends when we were ambushed. We were captured, tortured, and I was beaten into a coma. I was in a coma for about a week, and coming from that place of not good enough, and my mom was understandably very angry from what I did, because I wasn't supposed to get involved. I wasn't supposed to go to places that was I knew it could be, but I was just a teenager, 19 years old. I didn't know what is going to happen. And life changed, and I got married, and we had, my son. I was 7 months pregnant when my husband, who was an activist as well, his life was in danger, and he decided to escape with the promise that uh, when he gets to America, because he had a brother and sister, then he can send for me and the kids, and we would come. And but by the time I got here, he already had a different life, and my family had already warned me that he doesn't want you, because it was like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So many things happened, and when I got here.
Mhm. Yeah. So what happened, like when you got here, you had so many things that happened to you while you were there already, and then coming here and realizing that what was promised is not there anymore. What kind of challenges did you deal with?
The first thing, when you experience depression, and you feel like the only hope that you have shattered, my first thought was to end my life. But, as you can see, it didn't happen. And when I realized that I failed that, then I believed more that I was a failure. So what am I going to do with my life? Because I was in a country that I couldn't even speak the language. I didn't have money. I didn't have family or friends. I didn't have anything. And I had to raise two young children by myself. And the idea of packing and going back to Iran was completely out of the question, because I already had experienced a lot of traumas over there. So I decided to just wait and see what happens, because I thought, okay, I don't have any other options to just make sure. I would cry myself to sleep, and then I woke up and I had to take my son to school, and then people would come. They would come like, hey, who are you? Hi, good morning. And they were nice and they were wonderful, and they literally started, as they talked with me, became in a place that got a little bit courage, a little bit at a time. Every time that people were talking to me, I started, trying like, okay, maybe I can share my story with them. And that was the beginning of my journey to making that decision that maybe I can try and see where I go. And I was a nurse in Iran, so I had 10 years of experience. So when I was going to a college that were offering English as second language for free, of course. And then my teacher came and like, hey, what is your story? How did you get here? The way that we talk. And when she realized that I was a nurse, she said, we have a nursing program in this college. I can take you to talk with the director of nursing, one of the advisors actually, so you can learn how to apply for the program. And that was it. That was just like, oh, maybe there is hope. So everything happened. And as I put one step in front of the other and decided to do one little thing, it seemed like the doors of opportunity were opening up and people were coming to rescue me. And I felt like, well, maybe I am not really alone in my journey, because as I could see, the people were coming and my life, I was learning to speak. I was feeling comfortable. And I decided one day to go to the director of the nursing program while I was still learning how to speak English. And it was something within me that was pushing me forward, helping me to go move forward, which I call it the intuition, the way that it speaks through us. When we make that decision that I am gonna do whatever I can to create the life that I want and I dreamed of, in spite of all of those little limiting beliefs, that the negative self-talk that we hear day after day after day, then it felt, and now I believe in it, that the doors of opportunity will open up. And all we need to do, just have that confidence, have that trust, have that faith to just take that action, because without the action, then nothing will happen.
Yes, so true. And I love that, I guess people around you were giving you this encouragement and that support that you needed one by one, that kind of helped you reestablish your self-esteem and then, go on to that new path. And you're so right about, putting one foot in front of the other. Oftentimes when we are dealt with change, we want to know everything right away. And when we don't have all the answers, then we deep into depression because we don't have lack of clarity. And you had that faith in yourself and making that next step, and then the next one would open up. Okay, you're going in the right direction. So awesome. As far as challenges, or maybe there were no challenges when it comes to being a single mom, uh,
Yes.
what were those experiences like?
It was very difficult, because I was a single mom. Sometimes people are single parent, but they do have the support of the family and they do have friends. I had nothing. But even though we don't have anything, the classmates that I was going to school to learn to speak the language became my friend and became my supporter. They would come and say, "Oh," because I didn't have a car, I didn't have anything. So they would come and say, "Hey, I can take you and the kids to the grocery store. I can, help you to provide to get, some clothes for your children." It was difficult. Um, I didn't know what would happen the next day, and I had to learn how to take care of my family. take care of my children while I was grieving. I was trying to figure things out. But in that, the whole journey helped me to become a role model for my children, because as they saw me, they experienced all the challenges with me, because I am, it was much more than these little, few sentences that I said about the challenges that we experience, because we also experienced war for 8 years when I was in Iran, and my children experienced that. Even my daughter, when I was 7 months pregnant, when we had, she would hear the sound of the bomb explosion and the air attacks and all of that, she would just, it just moved in my stomach. So they experienced, they knew what every challenge that I had experienced, and I didn't have to tell them, I didn't have to teach them where we came from. So they, as a in response to whatever that they had experienced with me, they were more at sometimes they were sometimes defiant, and there were times that they were just, well, we love our mother. So they saw that part of me, that I was trying to make things happen. And I remember one day, actually after I graduated from nursing school, and that was my birthday. And my kids were little, so, and we didn't have money, and they didn't have anybody to say, hey, let me take you out and so you can buy a gift for mom because it's her birthday. So I just opened the door, came in, and they had taken a piece of toast and leftover candles from, we had for their birthday. So they put a candle on the top of this piece of bread, this piece of toast, and sang happy birthday for me. It was the best birthday present a mother could have. So when we try to do our best, because we all say parenting does not come with a manual, right? So I was not a perfect parent. Let me tell you that. I got upset. I tried to do my best, but everything that I did, my children saw that. So I tried to be the thing that I experienced with my mother. I try to do the opposite and be gentle with my children, try to talk with them. I remember my son he was little, like, mom, I really love it when you talk with us. And like, okay, it means that, don't get upset that you didn't clean your room. So we do our best. It is challenging, but we learn to become the better version of our parents. And right now, after many years that my son is a parent and he's married, of course, and I have two granddaughters, I always tell him, I said, I learned from my parent what to be or not to be. And I taught you guys, and not that tell you what to do, but as children watch us, watch their parents, they learn something. And I told him, I said, I expect you to be better parent than me, better parent than your dad. And then your children are gonna learn to be a better human being, better parent as well. So being a single parent is difficult, but when we try to get the support of other people, because most of the time, if we suffer in silence, we think that I am the only one. Especially as women, we learn that not to bother anyone, not to be vulnerable. It especially depending on the culture that we grew up. My culture was women cannot be weak. If you be vulnerable, that means you're weak. If you're sick, don't tell your husband you're sick. Just pretend that you are good. So all of that, especially being a single parent, you want to make sure that ask for help, reach out. It's okay to be vulnerable, because then when you open up, the people that love you and learn to love you, learn to accept you, come into your life and help you so you can succeed, become a better parent, and create a better legacy for your children.
Totally, totally. You're so right. Asking for help is very important, and just like you said, as women, we tend, or actually, we want to figure out everything by ourselves, and
Mm-hmm.
asking for help is a sign of weakness. But we give the opportunity not only for people to help us, but we also give the opportunity to people who can share give their support. So it's kind of a two-way street. So
Yes.
totally understand where you're coming from. If you had a chance to go back in the past, what kind of advice would you give to your younger self?
Most definitely, just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, you're more than enough. It took me many years and getting a lot of help, specifically about hypnotherapy. And that's why I decided to go and become a hypnotherapist and learn more about the mindset and the limiting thoughts and the thing that we learn, because our subconscious mind forms before the age of 6 and 7, and majority of them, 95% of them, we are not even aware of, and you know that, Irina, really well. So for me, if I could go back and tell that little girl that she's loved, she is perfect. She is beautiful. She is more than enough. In just being in that little body, and every trauma that she experienced was mainly for her to just finally say stop and believe in herself. So if she knew how powerful she was, she would still become the best version of herself. But I always go like, I have that little voice within me that I always say, you are enough. You are loved. I love you. I am proud of you. Because sometimes we don't have that people to tell us that. And it is not for us to hear from other people, from the external. It is not external, it is internal. So I have a good relationship with that little girl inside of me. A lot of inner child healing has happened, and every day still.
You're so right. Yes, yes, totally. This is a very great advice. Um, what other tools helped you along the way as when you were a single parent? What helped you? Did you work on your mindset? Was it financial activities that you did? What helped you go through that process, that stage of your life?
Yes, there were a lot of different aspects, because we are holistic being, and it is not just one part of us, because we have a mindset, we have the physical body, of course, we have these emotions, because as we think about something, that repetition becomes a belief, and those beliefs create emotions within us, and then that the powerful soul, the spiritual being that we are. For me, it was the combination of mindset and the spirituality. Spirituality means that I came to believe that I was a soul. It was a powerful soul, came to earth to learn, to grow, to evolve. And that combination helped me as I became the best version of myself, as I became to break all the barriers, all the small limiting thoughts, and connect with that powerful soul within me, I was able to create everything that I wanted. And the healing journey is not just, you do something and it's done. That inner work is a constant work. The more that I worked on myself and I achieved one goal, and then another layer opened up, and then I had to work on that. So combination of a spirituality and mindset was definitely the key for my happiness, I can say.
Very well said. Yes, I also believe we are holistic beings, and it's all, creating a system of habits and tools that work in all areas of life. And of course, not all at once, but like you said, you fix or look at one area, you improve that area, then next one opens up, and you can then take the next step forward. So totally. What do you think is the most important trait to instill in a child?
Believe in themselves, that that you are kind, you are loving, you are loved, and you have the potential to be the best version of yourself. You can do anything you want. When we do that, when we give that all of the confidence boosting words to our children, they become the best version of themselves as well. I always told my kids, like, you don't have to go to get a higher education if you don't want to. You don't want to do anything, but make sure whatever that you choose, this is what makes you happy. Because it is not, some people don't have to have higher education, some people do. And whatever it is, if you want to just be a musician, be an artist, whatever it is, make sure this is something that you love and you want to do it. Because when it comes with that passion, I believe that our dreams, the dreams that we have, the passion that we have for something, it is a calling of our soul. When we follow that, then we become successful. And some people say, some artists are starving artists, for example. It does not have to be that way, because if it is somebody's passion, it is somebody's dream, there is a reason. And there are, we call it challenges, but there are life lessons that we have to go through, those life lessons, to become more confident. I mean, for me, that belief that I wasn't good enough or confident enough or whatever those enoughness was, as I learned something, like, maybe I am smart. Maybe I am, that progress, whatever that we do, it creates that confident within us. I constantly tell my children, even now that they are adult children, I love you, I am proud of you. Every once in a while, I text them, I am very proud of you, I love you. So they know, the children need to know that the parents love them, because then they don't struggle as much as, for example, when we do. So the more that we boost them, that show them kindness, compassion, love, and that is the best asset for the children.
Yes, I love that. Totally. I think when you have belief in yourself, nothing is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You become unstoppable when you have that core thing inside of you, and you can accomplish a lot of things. So thank you for that. What kind of
Yeah.
advice would you share with single parents who are just stepping onto the journey of single parenting?
Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because we get so, and I was there, we get so much into what happened and where we are, and the fears of, how am I gonna do that? How am I gonna survive that? And getting help from the people that, could be a coach, could be a therapist, could be a neighbor, could be anyone, just ask for help. And I remember when my son had and they had their first baby, I would say, I will babysit for you. You and your wife just go have a time for yourself. Having children is difficult. So find those tribe, find those community that you can, when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you don't see any hope, you are having a challenging day, you can talk to somebody, and you have that uh, community that can help you to get to the next step.
Yes, yes, I love that. Taking care of yourself and creating support network is important. Just like we said earlier, we cannot do everything by ourselves, and it's important to ask for help and taking care of, like filling our own batteries. Oftentimes we put ourselves at the last place while we attend to needs of others. Meanwhile, depleting a battery, we gotta recharge every day.
Richard, yes.
Just like a cell phone, if you don't plug it in, you're not gonna have a working cell phone.
I love that. Yes, definitely.
Are there any projects, fun projects you're working on currently that you like to share?
Yes, I am gonna be a keynote speaker. Is coming May 16 and 17 in Las Vegas, and that I'm very excited about. And also, I am working on my third book. When I decided to write my books, it was because I wanted to inspire people, especially women, because we come from a place that we think of ourselves the last person on the earth, and we think that we are the only one that stuck, feeling overwhelmed with everything. So that is the reason that I write my books, and I share my stories and also give tools throughout the speaking and the books that are being published. So those are my projects.
Awesome! Congratulations! This is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was there any book that you read along the way that kind of helped you in your journey or transformed
Absolutely.
you?
Yes, absolutely. Many, many, many books. I remember the books from Hay House Publishing, and they were amazing, about the power of spirituality, the power of intuition. At the beginning, when I was able to become a nurse, and every time I would come home from work, I would turn on the TV that there were a talk show, and they were talking about these authors and the books. So I read a lot of books to learn how to write and to learn how to get to the next stage of my life. Life is not easy. It can be messy sometimes.
Totally, totally. But you're right, in the books we find the wisdom and we get to create the picture. Oftentimes when we watch TV, when we watch a movie, the picture is already there for us. There is no room left for imagination, and when we read, we get to create that picture in our head and how the characters were and how you can be moved by a certain passage or piece in a book. So awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
Well, I think you asked all the wonderful questions. And I hope that when the audience listen to these conversations, that they know they are not alone on their journey, and know that they can and able to and capable of creating the life that is their dream life. I never thought I would be in this situation, when I was lost and confused and didn't know which direction to go. But, you learn. And this is a promise that once you put that action step and try to get help and believe in yourself, you will succeed, and you create a dream life that you never thought was possible. But everything is possible.
Yes, you're so right. there is always light in the end of the tunnel. And with this podcast, by speaking with various people, I hope that people who are listening can find hope. Just like you said, they're not alone and in different situations, but hopefully there could be a page in their survival guide as they learn different tools from different people, from how they were coming and how they were able to come out of that deep darkness and learn the lessons. Because life, we don't have really failures, we just have lessons, and when we learn them, we get to make a better decision next time.
Absolutely.
If people would like to learn more about you, where would they go?
Yes, my website, soodabehmokry.com, and all of the social media, if they want to connect with me, is my name, Soodabeh Mokry. I am on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and they can find me. They can Google my name and they can find me and connect with me. And if for whatever reason people want to work with me, and if they mention your name and the name of your podcast, I will definitely give them a beautiful discount.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and your wisdom. I love having you.
Thank you, Irina. Love this conversation.